Hey everyone, Kai here, and today I'm coming to you with another book review. And this time the book is called The Water Dancer by Ta-Nehisi. And as you can see by my tabs, there was a lot of gems in this book, and it was Oprah's book club pick for 2019. There was a lot of hype around this book. This book actually fell victim to my 2020 book drought. So I started it early 2020, then quarantine and COVID happened, and you know, with the world just in complete upheaval, I know a lot of you wanted to read, but I didn't. I just went into this complete book drought. I didn't want to pick up a book. I didn't want to read anything. I was just trying to stay afloat and make sense of the world. So around that time, I actually was writing more as opposed to reading. And this was one of the books that I read. I was into it. I read the first 100 pages. I got to this really pivotal point in the book where it was like so high energy, it was like a shocker. It was like, oh my gosh, because this book is very like, it's kind of like a roller coaster. It's stable and then it like hits you for a turn and you're like, what the heck? And so I was at that part and it was so high intensity. I didn't want to read it anymore. I got scared. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what's gonna happen. So I say that all to say that I finally finished it last year. This is a late book review, but I really, really wanted to share my thoughts on it because there's so much gems in this book. And I feel like, you know, the narrator and the writer, Ta-Nehisi, he's just speaking the truth to power. He is talking that talk, all the thoughts I've always had about slavery. He's eloquently narrating it through the voice of the main character. And speaking of the main character, let's get into who he is. So Hiram is the name of the main character, and his nickname is Hi, so I'll refer to him as Hi or Hiram throughout the review. But Hi is, you know, an enslaved biracial boy, and we're introduced to Hiram. I mean, the beginning is twofold. So the first fold is that, you know, Hiram has a decision to make, a life or death decision, which is to save himself or to save his half-white brother from drowning. And so it's just a very high intensity opening, and, you know, we don't know what he's going to do. I will save that for you all who read it. But then we go into the first chapter is his childhood, and he's a 9-year-old again, and he is, you know, something very, very, very tragic happens to him, which is his mother is sold off. He doesn't know what to do, but he knows he has to survive. So he tries to run. And when he runs, he uncovers and taps into this secret power, this power of conduction that he doesn't really know what it is just yet, but he has these powers. So this book it's fiction, it's historical fiction. So a lot of real people who throughout history, like Harriet Tubman makes an appearance, and William and Peter Still, some characters are inspired by them within this book. So it does hit on true events, but to add in that touch of magical realism, it makes the book a little bit more digestible, and it did. We meet Hi when he has this decision of, what do I do, you know, and he tries to run, it doesn't work out. So now he has to go back to the plantation, and he needs someone to take care of him. He's only a child, and that's what I loved about this book. I love the characters in this book, and they're really, really strong characters in this book. And one of the strongest and one of my favorite characters was Thina. So Thina was pretty much Hi's caretaker. Thina became Hi's unofficial parent. And what I loved about their matching is that they found each other through their brokenness. And I did highlight a quote that highlights, you know, their relationship. It's on page 18, and it says, you know, who I am. You done heard about how they talk about me. You also know something is broken in old Thena. And when I seen you in that loft, I had a feeling that something was broken in you. And so they love each other through their brokenness. And that's what really is, it's weird, ironic, but that's what builds their foundation. I think Ta-Nehisi did a really good job of the character building up high. We see throughout the story his growth as he realizes, you know, from a naive child just looking for love and looking for acceptance to realizing the monstrosity that slavery is. Ta-Nehisi made Hiram very wise and introspective and super smart. And the things that he said, like, as you see, these are all quotes that I've highlighted because there was so much speaking truth to power in this book that I was just enamored. Some of my other favorite quotes, I promise, I mean, there's a lot, but I promise I will try not to say too much. We were better than them. We had to be. Sloth was literal death for us, while for them, it was the whole ambition of their lives. So that's on page 35, another quote that I highlighted because it's really the pinnacle of slavery. You know, a lot of enslaved people were told that they're lazy, and they're literally waking up at the crack of dawn, working their backs off and making the lives of these white slave owners seamless and easy. And yet they're told that they're lazy, and they're told that, you know, they are not doing enough work. And, you know, meanwhile, the whole ambition of these slave owners is to be lazy. It's not to do any work. It's just very ironic. And so I think there was such power in this book. I do think this book requires a part 2. Like I said, it was like reading a roller coaster where you're kind of like holding your breath in certain scenes because you don't know where this can go. There's a lot of twists and turns. I'm not going to talk through it. I think you should read it. But I do feel like it needs a part 2 because I do think that the ending was pretty darn flat. I didn't think, I don't know, you know, like I don't know. I feel like, is there more? Is there a part 2 coming? I need a part 2. I need a part 2. I need to see what else happened because there was a lot of building up for the ending to be that flat. One thing I want to talk about though is mental health during slavery. Just thinking through the mental health of enslaved people as they're dealing with this loss, this degradation, this slavery, right? As they're dealing with all of these things, I think this book does a good job at touching on family separation, the impact of separation from families and as a result of slavery, and also like the mental health for both white people and Black people. For white people, it's like the cognitive dissonance where they have to rectify in their mind that this person is not a person, hence the 3/5 law. This person is an animal. This person is 3/5 human. So if I put in my head that because this person has a different skin color than me, that they're subhuman, they're less than, they're 3/5 human. If I make up that lie, then I don't have to deal with the fact that this person has blood like me, this person has tears like me, this person has babies like me. I don't have to deal with it because I need to make my profit. I need to build my wealth on their back. Thought of that as I read this book, that level of mental illness or cognitive dissonance that you have to take on in order to treat someone as they did during slavery. So what are your thoughts? Did you enjoy it? What did you think? I would love to know. Anyway, I will talk to you all later. Bye.